Hey guys, today I'm going to be sharing with you my to be read pile for October and November 2022. So it's time for another TBR. I got me another little handful, another little stack here of some good books that I'm excited for. As for my previous TBR, once again, everything went well. I feel like I do this every TBR. I always feel like somehow I have been a little too overly ambitious, but it always works out. It always works out that I kind of perfectly time everything out, that it all gets done within the 2-month time period that I always kind of set myself up for. So yeah, my previous TBR, everything went well. Some highs, some lows in there. And as always, when I do finish a book, I always get my Goodreads reviews up first, and then like the filmed version of a video, and that usually don't come out until like months and months later down the road, because as I kind of plan out my videos every month, I can only put up so many like book reviews, if that makes sense. So at some point, all the books that I read in the last TBR, they will be up as videos at some point. But yeah, if you're absolutely dying to know my thoughts on any books, check out Goodreads first. So the first book that I plan on tackling for this TBR, this one right here, this beast of a book. Good God, how long is this? I'm terrified. It's almost 900 pages. You guys, it is almost 900 pages. This is the next book in the Outlander series by Diana Gabaldon, and this particular installment is called An Echo in the Bone. And I've kind of lost track of the number of the books in the series. You guys, I'm not gonna lie. It's like the first 3 books, I was able to remember, okay, that's book 1, that's book 2, that's book 3. But then after that, it's like I lost track. So I have no idea what number of book this is. I think it's maybe 7. Is it 7? I think this might be 7. Either way, I think I only have 2 more books after this, if I got that correct. Because I think after this book is Written in My Own Heart's Blood, right? And then the next book is Tell the Bees That I'm Gone. I believe I have that right. So yeah, when I'm done with this book, I only have 2 more books left. And I think Diana Gabaldon definitely has 1 more book coming. So I think the series is quickly coming to a conclusion. You guys, I'm a little sad about that. So yeah, this is a beast of a book. This is going to take up the majority of October for me. Let's be real. I think I'm going to have like a week left of October by the time I'm done with this thing. So yeah, what is this particular book about in this installment? I don't think there's anything particular, even though this, like I said, I think this is like book 7. I think this is book 7. I could be mistaken. I still don't think there's anything particularly spoilery back here. So I think I'll go just read this really quickly. If I have to, I'll just edit. I'll edit chunks out if it sounds too spoilery, but yeah. Jamie Fraser is an 18th century Highlander, an ex-Jacobite trader, and a reluctant rebel in the American Revolution. His wife, Claire Randall Fraser, is a surgeon from the 20th century. What she knows of the future compels him to fight. What she doesn't know may kill them both. With 1 foot in America and 1 foot in Scotland, Jamie and Claire's adventure spans the Revolution, from sea battles to print shops, as their paths cross with historical figures from Benjamin Franklin to Benedict Arnold. Ooh, that sounds exciting. Meanwhile, in the relative safety of the 20th century, their daughter Brianna and her husband experience the unfolding drama of the Revolutionary War through Claire's letters. But the letters can't warn them of the threat that's rising out of the past to overshadow their family. Oh, this sounds good. You guys. Yeah, so far the entire series has kind of been leading up to our main characters participating in the American Revolutionary War, and it definitely seems like it's here. It's here, you guys. I'm ready for it. And yeah, Claire and Jamie are going to get to meet like Benjamin Franklin and Benedict Arnold. Yes, totally, yes. So, since I'm going to be reading that book, and like I said, it's going to be taken up the majority of my October, and unfortunately, that's also going to put me severely behind on my Goodreads challenge, I think. So, in order to compensate, and to kind of hopefully maybe get my TBR Goodreads challenge back on track, I have a series of Disney books that I'm going to read, because they're small and short, and I can get through them within a couple days. So a series that I plan on tackling is this one right here. It is the the Haunted Mansion series by Disney. It consists of 4 books. I repeatedly have checked back on Goodreads to see if there's been more than 4 books, but so far it's not updated in years. I think these 4 books are it. So yeah, if you don't know what these little books are, they're called Tales from the Haunted Mansion. They're just little small kitty books. They're based off of the Haunted Mansion ride from Disney and whatnot. And yeah, let me see if I can read one of the synopsises for one of these. In this bone-chilling book, you will read the terrifying tales of the fearsome foursome, 4 kids who try to outscare each other with frightening fictions of their own. But just wait until they hear my spooky stories. Who am I? I am Amicus Arcane, your librarian and host, your ghost host. So read on, if you dare. There's almost like a Goosebumps, Are You Afraid of the Dark sort of vibe going on to these. They sound like just really cute, funny, scary little stories and whatnot. So yeah, this first book in the series is called The Fearsome Foursome. And then the second one is, I'm trying to read. My room has gotten severely dark. It's raining outside and I'm having trouble reading. I'm glad I have my light over here on. The second book is called Midnight at Madame Leota's, the lady that's, her head's floating in that little magic crystal ball and whatnot. And then a book 3, we have Grim, oh my god, this is a tongue twister. Grim Grinning Ghosts. I got that out. And then the final book in the series is called Memento Mori. Ooh, yes, it's spooky. So yeah, I'll get done with those pretty quickly. That will allow me to possibly catch up on my TBR a little bit. And then I have one more Disney themed book that I want to accomplish. And this is like kind of another smallerish sort of book. And this is Long Live the Pumpkin Queen by Shea Earnshaw. And this is based in the world of The Nightmare Before Christmas. If you can't tell from this cover, we have Sally on the cover. I honestly have no idea what this book is even about. I kind of just picked it up because I saw the words Nightmare Before Christmas up here, Sally on the cover with lovely, looks like some sort of skeletal crown of some sort. I was like, hell yes, that's all I need. So it seems like this is going to be taking place after the events of Nightmare Before Christmas, and Jack and Sally are a thing, and you know, because he's the Pumpkin King, so now she's the Pumpkin Queen. Sounds all sorts of great, you guys. I am totally here for it. So then after all of that, it's time for me to get back into some adult fiction, if you will. So then I will be moving on into The Daughter of Dr. Moreau by Sylvia Morena Garcia. I am super excited to get to this, you guys. So what is this book about? Carlotta Moreau, a young woman growing up on a remote and luxurious estate, safe from the conflict and strife of the Yucatan Peninsula, the only daughter of a researcher who is either a genius or a madman. So yeah, if you can't tell from this title, this is like a kind of a retelling of sorts of the island of Dr. Moreau, but focusing on like the daughter of Dr. Moreau, obviously, as the title says. You know, I have never read the original Island of Dr. Moreau. It's like I know about it through pop culture because I know that it's a story about like a madman, a scientist who's like trying to play God, it sounds like. Kind of like a Frankenstein type of character, like Dr. Frankenstein type of character. And yet he's made like hybrid creatures that are like turned into monsters and stuff, something like that. So it's like I know vaguely what the Island of Dr. Moreau is about, but I've never read it. I feel like I should remedy that, especially if I end up really enjoying this. So yeah, I previously enjoyed Sylvia Morena Garcia's Mexican Gothic, so I'm really looking forward to getting into this. Then after that, I plan on getting into the newest Ruth Ware book, The It Girl. It's been a little while since Ruth Ware came out with a book. I want to say the last book that came out was back in 2020, maybe? 2020, I think, was the last book that came out. So yeah, this book, April Clark Cliveden was the first person Hannah Jones met at Oxford. Vivacious, bright, occasionally vicious, and the ultimate it girl, she quickly pulled Hannah into her dazzling orbit. Together, they cultivated a group of devoted and inseparable friends, Will, Hugh, Ryan, and Emily, during their first term. By the end of the year, April was dead. Oh my god. Of course, it's a Ruth Ware book, someone's gonna be dead. Now, a decade later, Hannah and Will are expecting their first child, and the man convicted of killing April, former Oxford porter John Neville, has died in prison. Hannah is relieved to have finally put the past behind her, but her world is rocked when a young journalist comes knocking and presents new evidence that Neville may have been innocent. As Hannah reconnects with old friends and delves deeper into the mystery of April's death, she realizes that the friends she thought she knew all have something to hide, including a murder. Ooh, sounds great. I am a huge fan of Ruth Ware and her mysteries because there's like kind of something very Agatha Christie-esque to them. I'm hoping I really like this one. There's something about the plot that is kind of reminiscent of another of Ruth Ware's books called The Lying Game. And The Lying Game, I wasn't particularly a big fan of. And this is kind of giving me little vibes of that. So I'm hoping that I'll prefer this book over The Lying Game. I guess we shall see. So I have time after all that for a book from my TBR jar. Yeah, guys. So let's get going with this. I'm going to pick out one book from here. Okay, let's see. I always try to dig somewhere near the bottom, somewhere in the middle, because I kind of don't really do a good job of mixing these together, let's be real. Okay, I got something here. Yes, I'm excited. I am so excited about this, guys. Seriously, oh my god, let me hunt it down and find it. So the book that I got from my TBR jar is The Ship of Dreams, The Sinking of the Titanic and the End of the Edwardian Era by Gareth Russell. Yes, yeah, guys, I am super excited to get to this. This is a work of nonfiction about the Titanic, and I really, just kind of from this title, I really like kind of the implications kind of going on here, because yeah, it's talking about the sinking of the Titanic, but with that also the end of the Edwardian era, and that just I think that's going to make for a really intriguing story to tell. So yeah, let's see. I'm going to read some of the little synopsis here really quickly. In April 1912, 6 notable people were among those privileged to experience first-class passage on the Ship of Dreams, the RMS Titanic. Lucy Leslie, Countess of Ross, son of the British Empire Tommy Andrews, American captain of industry John Thayer and his son Jack, Jewish-American immigrant Ida Strauss, and American model and movie star Dorothy Gibson. Within a week of setting sail, they were all caught up in the horrifying disaster of the Titanic's sinking. Today, we can see their stories and the Titanic voyage as the beginning of the end of the established hierarchy of the Edwardian era. Writing with the immediacy and urgency of a novelist, using previously unpublished sources, deck plans, journals, and surviving artifacts, historian Gareth Russell immerses us in a time of unprecedented change in British and American history. Through these passengers' intertwining stories, he examines social, technological, political, and economic forces that would change their lives just as much as their intimate experiences of bravery, tragedy, and selflessness. Masterful in its superb grasp of the forces of history, gripping in its moment-by-moment account of the sinking, revelatory in discounting long-held myths, and lavishly illustrated with color and black-and-white photographs. This absorbing, accessible, and authoritative account of the Titanic's life and death is destined to become the definitive book on the subject. Seriously, I really love the concept of this whole book. It's more than just the sinking. It's kind of also taken into account the collapse and end of the Edwardian era, and that collapse of, the social classes in a sense, because slowly there throughout the 21st century, right? Yeah, did I got my ears right? Yeah, because slowly there throughout the 21st century, kind of starting there with the sinking of the Titanic, with the beginning of World War I, with World War II, there's social, political, economic structures and hierarchies are just kind of dwindling away little by little, into what we now kind of call our modern society and whatnot. So I really love what this novel is exploring, and it's kind of using the Titanic as, I'm guessing, sort of kind of this metaphor, if you will, because as we know with the Titanic, pretty much every bit of first class was saved and rescued except for a few people, and then I think even second class definitely had a good chunk of people make it out, but barely anybody from third class, which is an absolute shame, because what was held in place was all the social constructs and hierarchy and whatnot, and that's why, tragically, practically all of the third class was demolished. So yeah, I'm definitely really looking forward to this. I think it'll be very intriguing and interesting. So you guys, that is it for my TBR for the next couple months. In the comments below, have you guys read any of these books? If you have read any of them, were they good? Were they bad? Just let me know. Any of them that you would like to read in the future. So that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye guys.